Hey there, adults of Reddit. What is something a teenager should cross off the bucket list before we are all grown up? Stay up all night with friends. Look at the stars. Eat food in a Denny's at 3 AM and just revel in your youth. Dude. I'm 14 and I'm jealous of even the idea of going to a Denny's or hanging out under the stars. And if you don't mind, what's a Denny's like? I see them all time off the side of a highway. But I've never been in one and it may sound stupid but I'm curious what it's like. Road trip. Maybe a little harder to do now with COVID. But cramming 4 teenagers in a car and road tripping to another state? Awesome. Bonus points for an event or an entirely stupid reason. I once went along 15 hours away so my buddy could meet an online friend. That didn't pan out. But I did get to tour Kalamazoo, Michigan. Go to the Kellogg's factory. It's awesome. I agree with this so much. The only road trip I've had with other kids my age was with my cousins. One boy my age and one girl 3 years older than me. And we drove from Florida to Detroit, then Detroit to Utica, New York. When we stopped in Detroit we barely got any sleep so me and my older cousin were hella tired since we spent all night sending each other memes even though we were right next to each other, and my other cousin was also tired but we still had a blast, and honestly even though that road trip wasn't eventful I still love road trips with other people. Just the idea is so fun and I wish I wasn't so quiet at school cause if I wasn't then I would have more friends lol. The only thing I hate about road trips is having someone fall asleep on you cause sometimes the car can be really cramped and if you want to move to stretch your legs or something you can't cause you don't want to wake the other person. That and accidentally falling asleep and waking up feeling like shit. But besides those 2 things road trips are super fun. Learn how to use tools. You'll save so much money. I agree. I learned to use a lot of tools when I was 15-21 and now I can build cool stuff with my hands. Very awesome. Nothing much except take care of her teeth and probably get some exercise. Honestly. All these answers are good answers, but not teenage specific. If you're 50, you can still learn to use tools. You can still enjoy what youthfulness you have left. You can still enjoy responsibility-free moments in life. You can still start brushing your teeth and exercising. But yeah, if you're a teenager you actually can't do everything posted here. But looking after your health should be a priority. Pull all-nighters whilst you still can without breaking yourself for a week. Edit. Look, a week is a slight exaggeration. Age 16 I had the energy to power through to next evening and sleep through. Age 25 I ended up finally crashing out and spent the next several days on an Australian body clock, which is an issue when you live in the UK. Physical energy resets faster than sleep pattern and knowing whether you want dinner or breakfast at 1 PM. I can't stress how much you'll one day realize that these years are never coming back. You'll spend almost 75 years, maybe by then. Even longer than that, being older than 25. Enjoy. 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 I totally understand that the time frame you're in can feel like a lifetime, simply because these 13-19 years so far have been your entire lifetime. I cannot stress how fast it will transition from lifetime to 5 minutes. And only then when you finally get it, will be the same moment you realize that the years are already gone. That first time through was the only chance you'll ever get. There's no repeating. No understanding it all and making it better the next time. It happened once and gone forever. Do everything you hope to someday take a shot at. Just f***ing do it. The years are never coming back. Edit. Okay, for anyone stressing out. 1. Sorry about that. 2. I'm not saying the rest of your life can't be fun, amazing, or even better than when you're young. I'm simply saying when you're young, it's impossible to feel that time as being fleeting. Because currently, you know it as your entire lifetime. And that's the feeling that disappears fast. And when it feels like there's a nearly incalculable amount of time ahead of you, it's often taken for granted. Don't do that. Talk with your elders, your grandparents, your elderly neighbor, aunts and uncles, rest home folks, etc. Especially with family. Ask about their parents and siblings and what family history they know. Go through that box of old family pictures together. Take notes. Your elders won't be around forever and they will offer a window to the not so distant past when things were similar yet very different. It's one of those things you may not think much about now, but will really come to appreciate with age. This is so true. I'm 28 and all my grandparents have passed away. Last year I went with my boyfriend to meet his grandmother for the first time. It was such an amazing visit. She had so many pictures up from over the years and told me so many stories. My boyfriend apologized that she talked so much. It was so hard not to cry telling him he's so lucky to still have her. Say yes to just about everything you're invited to do. Trust me. Even if you think you may have nothing to gain, there is always something to gain. It's not far off to think of life as a video game and your character having progression. Every time you're invited to something, you're being offered a quest. And there will always be experience points awarded for completing that quest. Sometimes you'll get physical rewards too. Go on enough of these quests in high school, and by the time you graduate you'll be a higher level than anyone else your age. It helps a lot to be properly leveled when you reach college. Don't try to fly through high school. Soak up being a kid as long as you can. Everyone when I was in school always wanted to get out and be an adult ASAP. Adult life is great because of the freedom to do whatever I want to do whenever I wanna do it. When not working. But damn. Going back for a week of high school and seeing all my old friends seems so nice lol. It'd be like a vacation. Except pay would suck. Really bad. LMAO. Swim naked or make out somewhere in nature with BFGF partner plus learn how to use jumper cables. And not in the same night ideally. Anything that involves physical activity strength. Your strength training will be much more efficient when you are young since you will recover faster, which means you can manage more overall volume. Additionally, you will generally have faster muscle mass growth. Now for the secret. If you gain muscle mass then lose it. Then try to get it back. It comes back much faster. When you gain mass, you grow nuclei and fiber. When you lose mass, you only lose fiber. The nuclei remain. The nuclei then respond to stimulus and grow fiber faster. Even decades later. So, work out when you are young to gain nuclei quickly and they will help you the rest of your life even if you stop lifting for a while. In fact, some athletes argue you should take illegal growth or recovery drugs as a teen. Stop taking drugs and get clean. Then lift clean after your ban ends. Obviously not ethical, but it would add a lot of nuclei which helps you ever after the drug use stops. Not for nothing, but this whole thread is pretty much solid general life advice from people a little older. Fuck that. A bucket list isn't practical. Fuck someone in a classroom. Pull a big prank. Get punched in the face. Fart in the middle of class. Whatever. Do something memorable and fun. Not practical and boring. Plenty of time for that. The memories of a man in his old age are the deeds of a man in his prime. Pink Floyd. Cherish the lack of a million responsibilities. I've been out of high school for nearly a decade at this point. High school was the point in my life with the most responsibilities. In hindsight, a lot of them mattered less than they seemed to at the time. And my parents were kinda checked out, so I had a lot more responsibility than a lot of teenagers. And I don't have kids or anything, so that may be a factor. But I have way less shit on my plate now than I did at 16. If you drop me back into my life at 16 tomorrow, even with my adult maturity and coping skills, I'd probably have a stress-induced heart attack. I'm still 16 but learn to use the more boring end of computers. The guy who can type fast and use spreadsheets is going to be worth hiring over the guy who can speedrun Minecraft or 420 dank scope out of a hello. I'm 26. If I've learned anything in the past 10 years is that an uncomfortably large amount of business in America is processed no Excel files. Learn as much Excel as you can before you join the workforce. Put that on your resume. Hop on a random cargo train. Ride it for a while. Call your cousin Troy from a payphone to pick you up. Pay him in weed. Backpacking. My dad told me, my brother, and my buddy to go hike the Appalachian Trail before college. I really wish I had taken that advice. Pre-COVID. Travel. Now I'm not so sure. Yeah. When you have a chance to go on a road trip with a friend and you think, I can go on this week's long road trip or start job hunting right now. Go on the road trip. I had the opportunity when I graduated college to travel, but I was afraid I'd miss the boat on getting a job in my field. I ended up looking for 9 months. Anyway. So I should have gone on the road trip. Anyway. Learn what it's like to be by yourself. Do nothing. And be absolutely okay with it. And X200B. Go camping by yourself for a weekend. Take a car trip to nowhere by yourself. Go to movies and dinner solo. And X200B. Ones you can cross, know yourself. And be okay with it off your list. You are truly empowered to do whatever you want. You can remove toxic people. Leave abusive relationships. And know who you are. And X200B. Most people never learn it. And a lot of people will forever be dependent on other people for their life. And X200B. Learn who you are. Learn to accept who you are. For you. And the rest of your bucket list is simple. If you're gonna be a dipshit, do it before you're legally an adult. Like for real. Get it all out before grown-up charges become a reality. Judges around the world are like bloodhounds when it comes to finding someone to make an example of. Not even salty about it though. Ideally. You don't want to be doing anything illegal regardless of age. Jobs in the military, police, or any of those kinds of fields are going to care about what happened in your life before you turn 18. If you're looking for practical life advice, learn how to use tools. If you are looking for a memorable experience, honestly just stop and enjoy life. Take a saw and take a night to lay down in a field and watch the stars. Stay out late with your friends till all hours of the night. You are only young once. So enjoy it. Overthrow the government. When I was 15, I wrote something against my prime minister and got featured in the news. Me and my mom were in the same room and she had no idea what I was doing. It was cool. Have fun. Have crazy hair. Be goofy. Dress to express yourself. How much I miss being able to do that. As a mom and employed, I do miss having more freedom to dress my punk style. Try everything. Take dance classes. Try to learn an instrument. Try running. Play a sport. Try rock climbing. Go ice skating. Listen to music. Learn a language. Why give a shit about growing up? I turn 41 tomorrow. I work in public health. I'm married and have a mortgage. I'm going to be wearing a gross Halloween Hawaiian shirt to work tomorrow. Because I love Halloween. My wife and I collect Star Wars Lego. I occasionally buy Transformers. We play D&D. I paint miniatures and roll dice. We have a huge board game collection. We had a high fantasy theme costume wedding and it was amazing. The fact that my wife and I are children at heart is something we both cherish. IDK what your financial situation is. But if someone hasn't set up the future for you, then I highly recommend you start putting money into some type of retirement account right now. Even $100 will go so far if you start investing now compared to when you get a career later on. Most teenagers are going to have their money eaten up by reliable transportation, household appliances, basic clothes to wear at work or college, etc. Nobody I knew had the slightest chance of investing in the stock market until 21 or older. Maybe just improve your career possibilities first. Then land an employer who matches contributions to a 401k second. Get a passport and try to get a few stamps in it. Traveling will expand your worldview, make you more tolerant, and you'll probably have some cool stories to share. I realize this might be a challenge for some financially, but it's a bucket list item after all and worth working towards. Edit. Especially for Americans. Travel. Spend or borrow the money. Backpack on a different continent. Bring a friend or go alone. Don't delay it. A year turns to 2. A wife. Car. Apartment. Kids. Save up. Take off and enjoy before other commitments take over and your job becomes too important. I'm a pretty financially conservative guy. But the experience is priceless. Travel. We had a saying at my school, Woodruff Warriors. Be a part of Woodruff. Get involved. Join that club even though you'll get made fun of. Volunteer even if no one you know is doing it. You can have a platonic relationship with the opposite sex and not want sex. FCK everyone else's opinion. Don't be afraid to show your passions. Ask that person out. Apply for that special class. Do that extra credit. More importantly, do the work. My biggest regret is that I was smart enough to do the work but didn't put in the effort to actually do it. Don't waste all your time working. But learn to work. Do some time in a warehouse. Do something lifting heavy shit. Do something with long hours. Just as long as you want. It instills some work ethic and working a shitty job now will make you thankful for the good jobs you land in the future. Also, don't waste all your time on sports unless you're genuinely trying to get a scholarship or something. Why would you spend 30 hours a week in football practice when you could be running around having fun with your friends? Don't waste your youth feeling obligated to give all your time to something that won't benefit you in the long run. Soon your life will revolve around college and work. So enjoy free time now. This might sound stupid, but I need you for just one moment to really take in your current life at some point. I've always believed in taking mental pictures. A snapshot with your eyes that your brain just won't ever forget. I tried to do that a lot when I was young. Like when I had a really good night with my friends and we would just be walking around town after a football game and being young and stupid. I remember looking around and thinking at some point, this is going to be way in the past and I'm gonna wanna remember what this moment felt like when I'm old. Double quote. So like, when you're hanging out with your best friends, or that person you have a crush on, just savor it. And realize at some point that is going to be just a memory and make it count. Kiss your crush. Do something stupid. Don't be afraid to talk about how you feel. Make mistakes knowing they're mistakes and being okay with it. Take risks. Drive without a sense of direction and just see where you end up. You're only young for a little while. Make it count. The older I get, the more nostalgic I feel. I miss being young. But I did get lucky and got to marry my best friend from high school. So I took that tiny little piece with me. Work. Learn some financial responsibilities to be prepared for what adult life brings. But mostly enjoy every waking moment of being a teen. Have fun. Be happy. Don't let anyone tear you down. I've learnt your grades don't mean much. If you want to get into the top colleges and get scholarships then maybe. But from where I'm standing, real life experience is what matters. If I'd go back, I'd be happy with average grades and rather spend my time connecting with people. Building some real life skills like coding if that's your thing. Making good memories. Playing games. Musical instruments. I don't even know where that certificate is. I've forgotten almost everything I'd learned because they weren't useful after that. So yeah, think about it. Fuck up your hair. Get all your weird hair impulses out while you're still a kid. Otherwise you'll be itching to dye your hair blue and get a mullet at 29, knowing full well it's not a realistically good look for you, and you won't be able to stop yourself because you need to know what it feels like. It's totally fine and can be fun to do that stuff as an adult. But it's also more stressful, expensive, judgment incurring. If you wanna mess with your hair, do it now while it doesn't really matter at all. Maybe not something for the bucket list. But if you are going to be a fuck up, do it while you're young. You can always bounce back. And penalties lasting effects are less than if you wait till you're in your 20s. Or so I've heard. Call your parents or someone you trust if you're drinking drunk and don't have a way home or someone looks too sick. Make it to adulthood first. In college I would stop and take a minute to appreciate that I was outside. Walking with a friend at 11 AM or 2 PM or something because I knew that I'd never be able to do that so consistently after graduating. Stay up super late too and go get a shitty pizza after a night of partying. The best memories I have from my late teens early 20s are from those kinds of nights. You can afford it. Study abroad, unless you get an amazing career where you get tons of time off, it'll really be your only shot to immerse yourself in another country's culture for an extended period of time. Not doing it is one of my biggest regrets and all of my adult trips are to Europe as a result. Enjoy your teens, they are a wild combination of freedom and lack of responsibility if done right. I'm only 21 but I already find myself missing my teenage years. Don't rush it all away. Talk to the girl boy you are into. Smoke that joint, as long as it's safe. Go for that late night drive. Take that day trip to the beach. Do it all. I promise. You'll regret if you don't. Visit a country that is less developed than your own. I went when I was 14 and it forever changed my perspective. iPhones seem a lot less important after you've seen people your own age facing intense challenges. My friends and I went on a weekend trip together a couple hours from home by ourselves our senior year. It was a lot of fun and totally worth everything for those memories. I'm not trying to bring the vibe down. But it was worth it so much more because one of those friends passed away a couple years later. Make memories and take pictures. They become priceless as you grow up. Learn how to get out of your own way. In that I mean take ownership of your own mistakes. Don't blame things out of your control when it comes to your success and future. Only you can build a successful life for yourself, but it starts with making the right choices as early as high school. Take your schoolwork seriously. Don't worry about drama or social status because trust me, nobody from high school will remember 90% of the people they even went to school with in 10 years. Your future is starting now.